down gates. Yeah, we were born to be wild. It's my life, rocking as an 80s child. Our Beatles were leopards and snakes. Youth go wild, falling into Sunset Strip. I wanna rock, feel the noise. Hey, 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 rock the life.
Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Katya.
I'm Amy.
Amy, today is an episode that I really love because when we started talking about when we were creating a podcast, it was fan experiences, and that started us out. And it started us with our Def Leppard fan experience.
Yep.
And today we get to speak to David Church, who is the ultimate Def Leppard fan.
Right. Seriously.
And the amazing book that he wrote, Church of Leppard.
Right.
And I'm not going to do too much of an introduction. Instead, I will have the introduction be by Joe Elliott. So let me read to you what Joe Elliott said about his book. Well, Churchy, you've gone and done it. I've seen a few fan-driven books over the years, but this is insane. 800 pages. This has to be one of the most comprehensive labor of love projects I'll ever see. I raise my glass to you for the effort you've put into this. I saw things I'd forgotten about. I saw things I never knew existed. Congratulations, and for an incredibly honorable cause. Well done, that man. Joe Elliott, September of 25. And I'm reading it out of the beautiful card book cover that David sent us.
Aren't they so great? I can't wait to get mine posted behind. I just want to get a frame for it. So, all right, you guys. Hope you love this. If you are a Def Leppard fan, here it is. This one's for you. Here's David. I almost want to say, here's Churchy.
Hi, David. Welcome to Rock the Life. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. All the way from Wales, United Kingdom, a separate country to England.
Separate country to England, and over the water from me and over the pond from Amy. So that is, well, you know, today we just realized how fortuitous it is to have you on the show because we have another fun Def Leppard thing that happened today.
Seriously, talk about the timing of this.
Perfect.
Right? For people who don't know, we're recording, oh gosh. Well, I guess we're all the same day right now. So it's January 22nd, and Def Leppard just released Rejoice, which, phenomenal. I'm loving it. Got our repeat.
So, yeah, that was
a good classic Def Leppard tune. Elements of euphoria, slang, sparkle lounge, and the title, Rejoice. Interesting.
Which I was just giggling this morning, truly thinking of David Church and Church of Leppard all coming into my life today. And it fit so perfectly because I think Def Leppard is channeling you, David, as they should. So
there's hallelujahs, there's rejoicing, there is blessing, and the artwork. Loving it.
It is all wonderful. So, David, what I'm so excited, I have to ask you, after 4 years, how does it feel to finally be holding Church of Leppard in your hands?
Okay. So Church of Leppard is literally a monster. It is 824 pages. And in 2022, when it was due to come out, it was pretty much that thick. But in the last 2 years, all of that has been added on as well. So it has been a delight to finally get over the finishing line. And for me, I did my theology degree. I talk about it in the book. I did my master's degree. This is my double PhD, 160,000 words. My love letter to Def Leppard.
It is. Well, you know, before we even get into the meat of the book, one of the things that really touched my heart was that you have 7 pages of thank yous to people.
Probably more. Yeah, easy.
There might be even more than that.
The dedications, the acknowledgements, there's further thank yous. It is a fan book. It's my journey with fellow fans who are a huge part of the journey. So everybody who's got the book will already know the main countries where fans are. I've got all the different country plectrums. And when I was doing part of the book, which is sort of like 23 kindred spirits from around the world, the light bulb moment came and it had to be called When Fans Worldwide Collide.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
friendship.
I've seen an excerpt of that.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Well, you know, who shared it with me was Amy, Demolition Woman, who was one of our first followers on our Instagram page. So she was like, I got to be in David's book. So that was awesome. Mm-hmm.
She was literally one of the final people that I was connecting with at the time, as I was literally just finishing the chapters. And beautiful soul, and her partner Tony, and yeah, they got into the book.
That's awesome.
Okay, no, I'm also, because you are a teacher and a theologian. Are you doing a book tour? Or are you doing signings? Like, I'm picturing you in record stores and in places like, I want to come see you talk about the book in person.
Right.
There will be some book events around the same time that I'm on an 8-day tour for the UK tour. I'm also already looking into possibly a book event in New York. There's lots of exciting further developments. And in fact, I've got a big meeting tomorrow, actually, with my right-hand guy in America, Rick Thames. And we've got a lot of things in the pipeline at the moment that, fingers crossed, God willing, it'd be absolutely beautiful to do not just a sort of a book event, but have something very, very exclusive to go along with it at the same time. So
okay, I'm ready.
Wow.
Well, good. We're just going to add this to our calendar of like must-do things for the year. I'm really excited about it.
Okay, where? Like, what state are we talking? What month are we talking?
UK this year, US, fingers crossed, next year.
Okay.
Works for me.
Yep.
So David, I mean, I feel like I know such the story. I've listened to you talk about Def Leppard, especially on the Def Leppard pod. I love those episodes. But for those who don't know, can you tell us when Def Leppard first crashed into your life in August of 87?
87, this is it. So literally in the house I grew up in, I was literally just out in the street with my ghetto blaster. We remember them. And it was Queen. It was... it was a Queen song that came on the radio, and I was listening to it. And then, as you do, as a little 12-year-old boy, you take the tennis racket, and it was It's a Kind of Magic, and you start doing the guitar. And my friend Rebecca, who lived like 4 streets away, she was like, "Oh, do you like the guitar?" I was like, "Yeah." Now, I'd seen her older sister called Monia wearing a Bon Jovi t-shirt, and she was a few years older. And she said, "I'll be back in, hour and a half." So she came back with a bootleg copy of Hysteria. And then when, obviously, the lights came on in the street, that was our signal. It's time to go in. And came in, had a little, just one tape cassette player, little Walkman earphones, and just started listening to women and was like, what is this? And as I talk about Phil saying his Star Wars Hysteria album, To the Eyes and the Ears, I was just mesmerised. Hook, line and sinker, listened to it 3 times in a row, and that was it. A bootleg tape of Hysteria started the collection, and now I've got like 27 different copies of Hysteria, which, it started the dream, didn't it? The new life journey and the life with your favorite band.
So I have to ask, in the late 80s, I know Def Leppard was really popular in the US. were they still touring a lot in the 80s? You were kind of young probably at that point.
So 87, Def Leppard were playing, and they hadn't played in Wales a lot by this point. It was literally only a handful of little clubs, and they were playing at a place called Newport Centre, which was 2,000 people, but it was a sizable venue in Wales, and I was too young to go. And I asked my parents, and they didn't understand sort of rock music and what it would entail. So unfortunately, I missed my only chance to see Steve in '87. But in '88, in the UK, our Bible was Kerrang magazine, Raw Power, Raw magazine before Raw Power, Metal Hammer. Kerrang was the weekly, Raw was every fortnight, and Metal Hammer. And the '88 tour was the first time on the back of the stadium where Def Leppard were playing multiple nights at Wembley Arena and the Birmingham NEC. So that, although it was only sort of, a handful of shows, I remember Rick Allen saying that now puts us on a par with playing, the multiple nights in the US. So 88 in the UK, massive.
That would have been, yeah. No,
it's my mom's fault also that I missed the Hysteria tour. She said no.
You were like
only we knew
13, right?
No, I was 15, I think.
Okay, 15 is okay, but otherwise,
you should have been allowed.
I know, right? 15. She said no. So yeah, I missed that chance too.
I think we're gonna make up for it now. Okay, okay. So David, I was telling Amy, everything about it, I love the name of the book. Obviously, it's a play on your name, but also it goes with who you are and Def Leppard faithful. So I think it's a powerful title to the book. So what does the Def Leppard faith mean to you as a lifelong fan?
Wow, how long have we got?
I'm just going to sit back with my tea right now. Okay, let's go.
This is it. Well, the book is, and from the outset, it very much is 3 main parts, but effectively there are 8 parts to the book. So the subtitle is Collecting, Connecting, and Conversing. So the main part for me as a collector, when I sort of came online, sort of around about 2021, as a school teacher, apart from on the school Twitter page where we promoted all the wonderful work, particularly all the charity work we used to do with the children, as teachers we shied away from social media. So I'm still a teacher, but not within a high school environment anymore. So could kind of sort of come online and knew that, look at what I'm missing out on. Kindred spirits like yourself, people all around the world. And particularly in the Rock Brigade Community Forum, that was my first sort of venture, and that's where I would put all my posts in. And I love just to see what's out there, what collectors have got, what's the story, what's the magical memory, what's the time, the date, the place. It's not a question of how much is this and where can I buy it from, but it's just wow, I never knew this existed and I want to complete my collection. So a third of the book is me. I've managed to complete every format of everything ever released in the UK. I've then got a lot of different things from around the world, but particularly because it's a different cover or it's got some Spanish writing, it seems quite unique. But as I say in the book, I take my hat off to the worldwide collectors. Yeah. And there's 2 chapters where my good friend Justin Derbyshire appears. And he's had the pleasure of coming here. I've had the pleasure of going to his. And, you can never, ever complete it. So a third of the book is effectively me sharing. But what I always wanted to see was I wanted to see pictures. So I wanted to see the picture documentation of what you can get. So I've included 90% of my collection. I don't include any of the bootlegs because the bootlegs are obviously a different issue. And then trying to show things you may have heard of, but then you can be quite surprised how many big fans unnecessarily they've heard of, but they've never seen a picture. So when I was reading Animal Instinct, that was the first Def Leppard book, I heard about Rick Allen's Johnny Calendar Band EP, which he recorded before, obviously, Def Leppard. I then became aware that there was only a very limited number that had a promotional card. And there's a lovely story about how I get this, and managed to get another collector to get a copy. And then in Boston 2022, I had the great privilege of personally gifting the Johnny Calendar EP to Rick. And Rick's reaction, he'd not seen it in years. And Rick was bouncing up and down, just thank you, thank you. And, I just give him 5 minutes just to absorb it. And Rick's sitting there just looking at it. And, the memories of a 14-year-old boy.
Child.
Recording prior to Def Leppard, And there's something linked to this, which I can't talk about at the moment. But there's something very exciting in relation to this happening at a point later this year. And for 33 years, he was trying to get the ultimate. And there is a story. This is my rarest. This is one of 12 in the world. So I am the proud owner of a Love Bites white label test pressing from the US. So there's only ever a dozen made to obviously check everything works. And obviously, Leppard's only one single in America. And for all of the years of collecting, it took me 33 years to get the Holy Grail, to get the red label.
The red label.
And after 33 years, I literally cried like a baby when I got that. And I never, ever would have dreamed as a 12-year-old me would have ended up then many, many years later. And I know, Amy, you've got a copy right behind you. Yeah. And this is actually my red label in the definitively Def Leppard book.
Oh, so how cool is that? Yeah.
So one thing that I took forever to collect is now immortalized in the definitively book with full credits.
So cool.
So within all of the collecting, it's very much a checklist for collectors to literally go, got, want, need, got. Oh, okay, I don't know this one. Then I've got the whole journey of wonderful kindred souls and spirits that we've connected with and we've gone on adventures with. And I'm just telling my stories. As a teacher of religion, love storytelling, and where some people might go, okay, there's a place and a time for stories. Well, this is why I talk a lot, because I can write a big book. And it's part of the art of teaching. We all like a good story, even if we embellish it, as Gandalf says on the Lord of the Rings. And then opportunities and blessings have come my way. I've had a little bit of luck. I've been a little bit cheeky. The first story of how I met Def Leppard is a little bit cheeky, but it had to be done, but with respect and politeness. And then it encompasses all of incredible blessings. And where you get to one chapter, and I think this is it. This is the highlight of my Def Leppard life. 2 years later, this happens.
It gets even better.
And this happens, and I leave the book on a cliffhanger, because where there's sort of 9 main stories of incredible things, like working on the book, being showcased on the Def Leppard Vault, there is something at the end that I don't reveal, because it will come in volume 2, and it's going to top everything I've ever had in 38 years.
Well, good, because that answers my question, because I was going to be like, why now? But I know you've been working on it for years, and there was a series of things that got it to why now, but this isn't over. This is just, you're an amazing storyteller. So I'm going to say,
I've already done 3 chapters for volume 2, and this all leads up to chapter 4 of volume 2, which the big reveal can then come.
Okay, I think we see the new tour manager of Def Leppard, David Church.
Mike's good. Jess is good. I'm good.
Right.
Okay, and of all that time, I'm trying to think, when did you know that this was more than just fandom for you?
Within the book, there's a spiritual theme. And growing up in a Christian household, and my dad was a lay minister within chapels we have in Wales, as opposed to churches, non-conformist. And, the 12-year-old me listening to women, Adam, Eve, yeah, blah, 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 and then just sort of listening to themes. you know, just like you can be in church and the hairs on your arm, the goosebumps come, that's exactly the same as I got with Hysteria, and particularly for me, it's Armageddon. More than pour some sugar on me, it's always Armageddon. I mean, God's War and Hysteria, everything is just sublime, isn't it? It is the glorious masterpiece.
And I have to, do your students, do they enjoy Def Leppard? Are you introducing your students to Def Leppard? I'm trying to picture what your classroom looks like.
So many years ago, when I was filling in for the head of year doing assemblies, and as the head of religious studies and philosophy, I'd often be called to do the Christmas assembly, and a colleague was ill, so I decided to do the assembly on Rick Allen, and all the children came in listening to Animal playing. Then we saw the clip of Rick. Then I tell Rick's story, and they're like, wow. I talk about this in the book, and a couple of days later, a very sort of old school music teacher, and it was all, you know, violin and clarinet. She came to me and she said, what have you been teaching the children, David? I said, sorry, about your assembly. So we were in the music class, and I said, what makes a good drummer? And they said, a guy with one arm, like the guy in Def Leppard. So she wanted to learn more. Next thing you know, the children coming back saying that the music teacher was playing Def Leppard, and he was starting to learn a little bit of rock music. I have done multiple lessons because I would teach Good and Evil and War and Peace. God's War was there straight away. With the Rocket Extended, which is very meditative. If you think of the Don Valley, the middle section, when we were doing meditation, I used to take all the 50 children down into the main sort of school hall, and we'd play that music. Whenever Def Leppard could come in. So one of the greatest things for me was a huge display on Rick Allen and the Strength to Overcome. I've used it with thousands of students over the years. And in 2018, in Cardiff, I was able to give Rick a copy of my display and just show him how I was using it in story with the children. And you could tell, you know, it was a very powerful moment. To this day, I now work in adult education, and I've just been given permission today, funnily enough, to use my book with my learners to do a creative writing course with them, and we're going to get some of their poetry published. So this is a big thing, even when I work, to take in with these, let's just say, adult grown men.
That is one. Well, I mean, just even think of like what you can do, like students playing music, how now you can blend the classical music with Def Leppard as they showed us, right? I mean, it's beautiful music. So yeah, no, that is. And Amy, your husband wrote a song about Rick Allen too.
He did.
We'll have to share that with you, Dave.
Yeah, it's called There Will Be Rock. He did. It's actually, you can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming platforms, but it's called There Will Be Rock. He did a lyric video for it, and you can find that. That will actually make a lot of sense to you. It's on YouTube. And my husband's music project is called Wild Society, so you can find it there. But I'll send you a link when we're done, for sure.
No, but that is, our love of him. So, okay, so right when you were writing the book, was there any chapter or segment that surprised you emotionally?
That's a very good question. Every single penny of the proceeds is going to Noah's Ark Children's Hostel charity. So that is our National Children's Hostel in Wales. I have signed a 10-year legal agreement with the charity, and I have self-financed, self-published the book, the website. It is all my gift. So from the second this went on sale on the 11th of December, every single penny goes to the Children's Hostel. I've got a very deep personal connection to the Children's Hospital, and within all my schoolwork, as head of religious studies, every Christmas we do a massive charity drive, and as the years went on, I did some sector-leading charity work, and 5 of my students, so these are high school for America, 14-year-olds, won 5 UK awards with me. 5 students, 14, 15, 16, won some European awards, And then two of my students did phenomenal charity work, and they actually won the Princess Diana Award. And I was invited to take the three children, and he was very cool at the time, and she was very cool. We were invited to meet Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and there's myself and my three award-winning students, and these two had won particularly big awards. And this was in Wembley Arena in London, and there were 10,000 children all being celebrated for their charity work in the local communities. You could not buy a ticket to this event. You were rewarded by your school teachers. And whilst they were all upstairs with Liam Payne of One Direction, Lewis Hamilton, Nicole Scherzinger, Idris Elba, all speaking and singing, I was downstairs with my three students and only four schools, one from England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales, were invited to meet Prince Harry and Meghan. And it was one of the proudest moments of my life as a teacher to stand there and just have sort of 10 minutes with royalty. And so I do have a chapter at the end of the book about why Noah's Ark Children's Hostel Charity. And the two schools where I was teaching were in two of the most deprived areas of the whole of the country. And the one school in particular where we had phenomenal impact, it was officially the poorest place in the whole of Wales. But what I showed was, if you just sow the seeds with the children and you water it and you nurture it, these children can excel, beyond the moon. And it was all just part of my lessons and what I would teach them. And so reflecting back on my 27 years of teaching their brothers, their sisters, their aunties, their uncles, their mums and their dads.
Yeah, right.
That was emotional, just going back because I've left now into adult education. And just thinking back of all the memories, but so many of these children, the hostel had looked after their brother. They'd looked after them. And when I used to give the children a choice of 6 different charities, many of them would gravitate towards the children's hostel. So our national stadium, the Principality, fits 72,000 people for the rugby. It will fit 60,000 for a concert. Def Leppard have not played my national stadium, so that's a mission Monday. But the hostel treats 70,000 plus children a year, which would effectively fill that stadium. So we're such a small country, only 3 million, 3.1 million. It's a big deal in Wales. And one of the greatest ambassadors of the hostel is Dame Shirley Bassey, local girl from Cardiff.
That is. And the thank you from Kath Fisher at the hospital. It's beautiful. Look, it is hearing you talk about the giving and like all the proceeds going to, it gives me chills. It is just like so beautiful. And it's like, again, you think of this beautiful fandom and what you're doing, and you didn't even, this is your gift to the hospital.
Yep,
it's like,
absolutely.
this is, you're the J.W. Barrie of Peter Pan for the Great Ormond Street Hospital. I mean, I was just thinking about like the legacy that this is.
Like from the outset, I'm writing the book about Def Leppard. Def Leppard is the music, it is the gift that they've given us. You can't monetize the band, you can't make money. It's a model. Just as a human being, as a Christian, as a man, as a fan of the band, when I see Def Leppard being monetized, it makes me sick. And I knew from the outset that everything would be gifted. I'd been working with Kath. She's become a great friend. She lives a few miles down the road. And many, many years ago, I was like, Kath, I'm going to write a book, and all the money is going to come through sort of you, from me, for the children's hospital. And 4 years later, the first 4-figure, very, very healthy check is about to drop. Because as the book was released, and thank you to everybody, friends and complete strangers, triple figure book sales in 19 countries in week 1. Wow.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So that's phenomenal. Oh, congrats.
Nice check. coming soon, you know. Thank you.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh.
So it's a project. It is literally volume 2 will come the day that we all dreading, when God willing, Def Leppard, as we say, will be like the Stones. They'll go on into the 80s, but when the day comes, that will be when, you know, volume 2 has been written consecutively, and then when that day comes, the volume 2 will come out, and the circle will be complete. But God willing, another 15 years maybe.
Yep.
No, I can't wait that long. Well, you know, and speaking of, like, part of this book, you include like the memorabilia for Steve Clark.
Yes, no.
Like, I never got to see Steve Clark play. You didn't get to Steve Clark play, but you have a lot of his memorabilia, and that is, yeah. What does Steve mean to you?
Right. Okay. So for me, I'll always just be in awe of In the Round. And when I recorded the In the Round episode with Neil Poole for Def Leppard, it remains his most downloaded episode to date for Def Leppard, because obviously
Yeah,
In the Round set the bar, didn't it, for live concerts. Another reason the book is delayed is because of things like this. So as things were happening, I had a wonderful 3-hour telephone call with the wonderful Boots Connell, who is the partner of Chris Clark, Steve's younger brother. And there's a picture of Chris with one of Steve's Les Pauls there. And we were chatting many things. Obviously said never got to see him live, but obviously it was just a complete vibe of Steve, wasn't it, as the quintessential rock star. And then Boots unbelievably offered to send me pictures and pictures of unseen Steve memorabilia. So I love, as a collector, just seeing, you know, the award discs for the different albums. But the one thing, obviously, which is all about Steve, isn't it? And it was, you know, back in the day, it may have been sort of just fashion, but he takes it to another level. Is obviously the white jeans, isn't it? And Boots taken care and restored, and there's clothing in there. There are different awards in there, and what is wonderful is how Boots takes care of Steve's grave. And there's a lovely thing here where Boots explains how she will write your name on a butterfly, and in the winter then your butterfly with your name will be placed at the grave. And in 2023 I managed at last, when we went to Sheffield, to actually do a pilgrimage. And obviously on the one day we were absolutely so lucky to get into the lead mill. And then on the Saturday, the main mission with friends all around the world was to pay our respects. So I finally got to, with friends, get to go and pay my respects. And for people who've never been, wow, super emotional, and you give the thanks. And in the book, the very next day, on the Monday, we went to the Portland Works, where obviously Def Leppard were rehearsing. There were a number of fans who were allowed to sort of see the steps where Steve had run up with the riff wasted in his head, and a number of fans allowed to stand on the top outside the green door. And whilst everybody was standing at the green door, lovely manager called Aisha, and Aisha and I were chatting, and she basically said, I sort of feel this circle of fans is maybe a little bit different. So I obviously started to explain the book and tell her all about the book. And then with a little sort of nod to this wonderful gentleman, and there is Aisha, and we're standing on the rooftop. This gentleman then came along with the keys, and he took us inside. So we actually went inside, and we stood in the tiny little room where Steve first did Wasted. And my good friend Zakis and I, I'll show you as it's up, I can see Zakis and I. Zakis is a journalist for Rock Hard magazine in Greece. we wept like little children to think we had stood where Steve, had laid down that first ever riff. And literally that evening, just a 30-second walk, really, Def Leppard with Bramall Lane. So we're in here, up the top, and that evening, Bramall Lane is at the end of the road. So we went from the very beginning to, best part of 40,000 people that night at Bramall Lane. And to get an experience like that is the ultimate. We're at the green door, but then we get taken in. And the last time I ever saw anybody taken in was Joe and Sav when they did the BBC One show, and they went onto the rooftop and they went in where they started, and they actually signed, the board marking this is where Def Leppard rehearsed. Goosebumps. Oof.
No, there's just even the story of like your special backstage tours, and you're just like touched by this Def Leppard golden finger. I don't know what.
Right.
I firmly believe when good people, good souls come together,
that's it.
As I say, that I've coined the word, the leptastic magical memories happen. The powers that be, the people around, they vibe off that energy. We're not brash, we're very polite, we're very respectful. And if you do it in those ways, the good things come, because I have seen the nasty side of fandom, and it's very sad. And I've had experiences, like when I was in Boston, I was actually staying in the hotel with the band, which was like, wow. But it was the second time this had happened. And I popped outside of the hotel in Boston, absolutely boiling, just drinking the free water. And I was chatting to fans who were waiting, but let's call them the eBay guys. And there were some genuine fans there. And the crazy thing was that an SUV was arriving for the band, and we were very kindly given an SUV in front of the band to go just in front of the band to Fenway Park. And I'd been popping out, and there was a guy, and he was clearly dehydrated. And all he wanted was for Joe to sign his Asteria, and he had everybody sign it. But he had to contend with the eBay guys. And literally, as my friend and I, Judy, we were just waiting to get into the SUV. Joe and Sav were about to come out, and the way they were mobbed, and you knew it was just for the money. Sign this, just for the money. But managed to help this guy fulfill his dream. And I'll never forget sort of climbing into the SUV, all these guys going like, who's that guy? And I looked at him, I'm just you, but I've had a blessing that I'm here, and I can't believe I'm going in an SUV, the band in the next one, and we're going away to Fenway Park. And it's like, for those 10 minutes, wow, this is the life they live, and it's cool. Rockstar moment.
Right.
That is an amazing rockstar moment. So, you did Boston. Of all the shows you've been to, which one do you still like? Really gives you the goosebumps. Like,
okay, so it was Liverpool 2018 when the wonderful Valerie Adamson, the VIP coordinator, pulled my ticket out, and we were given the backstage tour, 3-song side stage. It was I cried like a baby. And I say in the book, I said to Valerie, I said, if I didn't know any better, Valerie, I'd be proposing to you. And she laughed and said, this is the ultimate dream come true. Mm-hmm. And we're backstage, we're high-fiving, we're low-fiving, we're watching Joe and Phil, right? And Joe comes out and he's bouncing, Phil is oiled up, and Sav, and we stand there next, Viv is putting his arm around me. Come on, Dave, let's take another picture. And you're like, what? Next, Rick is there, and then I grab my buddy Darren in, and we're all in this picture. That was unbelievable. But that has now been topped with what happened at our Chelmsford show. Katya, I gather you were there.
I was there. I know. I was going to ask you.
He's like reading your mind. Do you have a copy of her questions and her talking points? Because like you're touching on everything, and she hasn't had to say a word. Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
Chelmsford now has to top this because the book was ready for the 31st of May. I knew in my heart the first person to have a copy of my book had to be Joe. Joe, the King of the Leopards, has to have my book. Within my book, I had put my charity legal agreement and I had put a personal letter to Joe asking, please, could he kindly consider possibly writing me just a short foreword of my book. You know, I'm going to read it, but if you want to skim it. And thanks to the wonderful Ryan Sebastian, obviously, as you know, Katya, 35,000 people. We came in about 1 p.m., 9 of us from different countries around the world, including our friend Asia from Italy, and we came down from London, and we made our way over to Viv's side, because Phil's side was just chocker, and we usually go Phil's side, and just had this feeling, let's go Viv's side. Long story short, we get front row. I message Ryan. I've got my book in. It hasn't been taken from security. And I say, Ryan, just please, 30 seconds at a certain place. And we were trying to arrange, but Wi-Fi was down and we're on the emails and everybody's chilled. We're closer and closer. But I'm like, I've got to get my book to Joe. Anyway, we managed to get to the front row, message Ryan and come in. Next you know, Ryan comes down, quick hug, quick photograph. Thank you, Ryan. The book goes. Ryan, bless him, sends me a message. I've just given it to Joe. Relax, enjoy the show. We'll see you later. So I'm crying like a baby thinking my book is personally now being given to Joe. And unbelievably, whilst Ryan is filming us, so I've got my Welsh flag, although flags aren't allowed. I've got my Welsh flag because I'm proud to be Welsh and friends there with the other flags. And then during Pour Some Sugar on Me, and this was captured by the BBC, so this is why it's got to top everything. Joe comes over the way Viv is. He looks down, the lights are on us, he sees the flag. My mate Mark on my shoulder catches Joe literally. He's pointing to make sure you're looking, and Joe gives me the 2 fingers, like the thank you, and I know he's got the book. 9 of us are losing our minds. People next to us like, what's all this going on? It was then captured by the BBC, so we can actually see that moment of Joe pointing. So I've got that picture blown up. And I asked, please, if you could, by October the 15th, get it to me. I was on the train into the city in Cardiff for my work. I'd forgotten to look at my emails the day before, lots of work on. Looked at the email, and then in the email came through and from CSM Management on behalf of one of our clients, and I just squealed probably, and then I burst out into tears. Fellow commuters were asking, you okay? I was like, you're fine, it's happy tears. And there is my actual foreword from Joe from CSM Management for the book. And just the fact that Joe took the time, it is the ultimate. So it's right there now in the heart.
That's so awesome.
Joe's calling me Churchy, which is a bit of a long-standing joke, but it's cool. That's what we do in Wales. And just the fact that later on he says, Joe, the King of the Leopards, the ultimate collector, I saw things I'd forgotten all about, and I saw things I never knew existed. That's the King of the Leopards. I wrote a document in this book.
There's not another book like this, right? I mean, think of and I'm thinking of all the books I have some fun, different types of bands. There's not a book like this. So yes, you have the pictures in it, but your writing is just, I mean, everything I'm reading, I'm just smiling from cheek to cheek because the writing is just, you feel the love and the connections that you're making with the people.
Thank you so much. My sole aim is I want to take you on that journey, but I know you get it. Because if this was your journey, I would get it. But also, the wonderful soul Kevin Nixon, Kevin and I were chatting at Cardiff, Liverpool and Nottingham, which were the only shows I could do based around teaching because they were weekends.
Yeah. Work gets in the way, I know. It always gets in the way.
Kevin said, I want to gift you all my unseen photographs from those 3 shows. So Kevin is giving me permission to use just iconic images like this of Joe with the lasers, for example. And I love like all of Kevin's crowd shots. And he's been incredibly, incredibly kind. And he has given me a stunning 60 by 40 photograph from which were initially on sale at the 2019 residency, and I am giving that away as a competition prize to anybody who just buys my book, sends me a picture, just holding up the book, however you want to do it, or just hold up the book with your thumb, and I'm going to do a draw on Valentine's Day, and somebody's going to get a $600 very generously gifted Kevin Nixon photograph to print. And then as I was going through Kevin's Cardiff pictures, he got the ultimate one for me. And I couldn't believe he'd taken it. And I'll just pull it up. So there's Phil, and there's me on stage in Cardiff. 2018.
That's why you're at the barricade. That's why it's always barricade.
Yeah, I was like, Kevin, wow. So because Phil is not on the front of my book, so my great friend Dave Allen, who I didn't know at the time, Dave was there and he was on Viv's side, but because I'd done the meet and greet, I was directly in front of Phil. So I didn't have Phil to go on the front of the book, but now Phil is there in glory on the back of the book.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there I am. So some meet and greet, and my favourite ever picture taken with Joe at 1 o'clock in the morning outside Nottingham Arena, just me and 2 of the fans, and the stories, wow.
Oh my
Bless. And there's the book.
I'm so excited to actually because I love that you have online that you can read parts of it, but it's a teaser for me. I need to actually hold it and flip through it. I can show you my room of books because I love books.
Brilliant. Can't beat a good book. And a book about band, even better.
And so that is what I also love, what I'm so excited about is that you're a fan writing this book, but at the same time, you can see the enthusiasm from Joe and the rest of the band. And the people who surround Def Leppard are also just as excited, right? I mean, it's just, nobody's asking for royalties from this, or, you know what I mean? It's truly just, I think they can see how impactful and what it means.
So that's it. It is, as Joe says, I've seen a few fan-driven books over the years, but this is insane. 800 pages, and it's 4 years in the making. 2,000 hours, Katya. 2,000
I believe it. So is this so now you're working on the second chapter. Is this your weekends? Is this what you're doing?
So basically, as a few other things have happened, I've already done those chapters. So there'll be a few things happening shortly. There'll be a big chapter, which is obviously the cliffhanger that I can't talk about.
Okay, no, it's okay.
That chapter will be done. And there are 24 of us from 16 different countries who are doing an 8-day Def Leppard 4 shows in the UK. Wow. So I can't do Glasgow first night because I'm at Metallica, and Metallica have played in Wales for 30 years, and they've sold out the National Stadium. I took my brother to see Metallica for his first concert when he was 15. He's now 45, and we're taking his 17-year-old son and his 22-year-old daughter and their 50-year-old uncle Di. So, it's that generational thing, isn't it? And then we're straight up to Sheffield. Friends coming in from all over the world. Then we're off to London. Then we're off to Birmingham. Then to Manchester and back. And there are going to be some pretty good things happening within those 8 days. So they will be definite chapters.
Okay.
And then whatever happens after.
So Amy, I hate to jealous you. I'm going to start looking at the dates of the shows to see which ones I can get to.
Does that coincide with Amy going to Sheffield also? Does that coincide with that?
No, so Amy's planning to come next year, 2027, Obviously, it's going to be the 50th anniversary of the band. We're all hoping there will be the 40th anniversary, and as I've said on podcast, my book, we have to have In the Round brought back because Def Leppard, the Trailblazers band, Metallica, Bon Jovi, so many other bands have done it. It's time for Def Leppard to do that, and even if they just do a 10-night residency at the O2 in London, and then something up north, and something here, something there, we're going to be there because it's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah. It would be amazing to do. So now, are you going to hit any of the residency shows in Vegas?
No. That would be a bucket list dream to do. It is obviously, crazy expensive, and your US concert ticket prices compared to ours is bonkers.
It's insane.
All the funds, so it is a hell of a lot of money to do, isn't it? Right? And I know, obviously, like hotel prices are coming down, but the flights from the UK and to see a 26 song set list, and to be there wherever, even if you were in the further seat, just to be in that room would be incredible to do. But I had the inkling that the UK shows were coming, so all the funds are directed into the UK tour. Obviously, it's the third residency, and you'd never like to think it'd be the last, and you would have missed out on that. But everything, I had this to pay for, which was very expensive. And then with the UK tour, I'll stand back. I've entered the Fandium. We've all gone in double shares, me and friends. You win, I take you, you take me, and there's about 20 of us. That's the best we can do. We can just, you could hope to win something like that. But obviously, you were going, Amy, yes?
I'm going to join her.
There. Yeah, Kachi's coming too.
No, but David, every time I talk to Amy, you have to hear me. I was like, how much are the tickets? I was like, I'm going to go see Mumford & Sons at a club in Manchester for £35. How much are these tickets at the residency?
Yeah.
But yeah.
UK, we're talking sort of around about the £95 mark. And
I can't even imagine.
It, but the equivalent hundreds of dollars.
I will tell you, that's what we paid for our Youngblood tickets, though. Like, he's doing whatever he's doing. He kept our ticket prices down for his show in
even in America, which is astounding. Yeah.
Yes, massive.
He did it. I couldn't believe it. I thought, oh my gosh, how much are we going to pay for this? But no, it was under $100, which I haven't been to a show for under $100, and I don't remember how long. So,
and yet we can remember, I remember my first ever concert, a year before Def Leppard, was Vixen, and it was £8.50. And then Def Leppard a year later was £15.
15. We spoke to Julia Laja, who's the new bass player this week from Vixen, because we
Tuesday.
Love her.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
It's funny.
Right, God, they are small ones, isn't it? So Vixen get a mention in the book, obviously, and Shea Ross with Joe in Down and Outs. It's funny, isn't it?
That's awesome.
So, David, what is the next concert you're going to?
So the next concert, the four in the row is obviously Sheffield Arena, London O2, which will be fab, because when they were doing the 2018, I was at Cardiff on the Tuesday. They were filming the O2, which we knew on the Thursday, but because of high school I couldn't go. But I was at Nottingham on the Saturday, and Joe and I had a 10-minute conversation when this picture was taken, all about the O2 filming, which then became London to Vegas. So I'd seen the show before and the show after, but missed out on, the filming. So it'd be brilliant to go to the O2, to be there now, and then straight to Birmingham, and then the last day Manchester. We were praying that they would then swing by Cardiff, because they missed out Wales the last two tours, and they've sold out the last 4 times at Cardiff, completely gone, completely sold out. And they put Paris on. And a friend and I came very, very close to going, let's do the parish show as well. But, you know, we're school teachers, we're not millionaires. What we can do. Santa Claus was the Def Leppard tour fund, as many of us do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
It'll be another great year. It's going to be, it's when you started this, what has surprised you most about the Def Leppard fandom and the fans you make?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see other people then getting that same experience as you and what it means to them, and then the two ladies with one in America and they get in touch with me and you share that story, and this is it, I'm getting it now. So Dan said to me, he said, you're under the radar. He said, apart from, you know, a few of us, get yourself online. Nobody knows you in that sense. And when Def Leppard approached me, or rather I should say Invenium, the team behind the vault, to showcase my collection on the vault as the first UK fan, that's when I started joining the Facebook and Instagram and the Twitter. And then the surprising thing was just how many people like us are out there. And where your family thinks, you know, okay, you know, what's wrong with this one? Or he's a bit this, or, you know, I can now say, well, here's Amy, here's Katya,
There's a whole lot of us.
Mum and Dad, and there's a good 23 people plus there. And, you know, there are people like me. We are not alone. It's just the love, but also the sad underbelly of sadly toxicity in certain quarters, and there's no need for it. We all love the band, and as I say on the back, whether you, and I've always said it, whether you've got 10 pieces or 10,000, and I know people who do have the 10,000 pieces, every memory, time, day, place, it means the world. It's priceless. Whether you've just got a one copy in your 10 memories or your 10,000 and a million memories, it's almost like sport as well. We're all behind the same team. This is our team. We're
Not
all
the same
fans.
t-shirt.
That's it, yeah. We all buy the t-shirt. We buy the ticket. We listen to the music. We can all agree and disagree on whatever, but the point is we are connected.
Hold on to the treasures.
Is that your Vivian or your Phil?
Yes, it's my Viv.
That's a Viv, also.
Viv.
It's a metal. It's the metal one. So I'm like, oh,
Steel pick, yeah.
That's out of all the things that I have, I think it's my most favorite thing, because I didn't buy it. Yeah. I didn't buy it. Viv handed it to me, and I love it.
I will give you a quick exclusive while I'm still on that trail. It is the kindness. Now, we always say to give back. I know in America you like to say pay it forward and, you know, use both analogies. But the stories of me connecting with other people is just connecting and giving them things they couldn't find or they couldn't get. And I don't want anything for it, but then something comes back and then you do something else and then somebody else is brought in and people come and visit me at what I call my Sparkle Lounge. And it's that Sparkle Lounge. It was my man cave until my wonderful friend, also in California, Shelley Carr, said, David, this is a Sparkle Lounge. I was like, it is a Sparkle Lounge. I said the same thing to Neil Poole. And Neil said, let's put some fairy lights up when I do the podcast. And we've got a Sparkle Lounge. Awesome. And the kindness that comes through from people. So I've not revealed this on social media at all. It is for the chapter already written for part 2. I had an unbelievable gift from a person. And obviously, people, sadly, we do get to the point where we get older. What are we going to do with our collection? What should we do? And this person, which I won't go into too much detail, but this person said, I know it has to come to a cherished home. So in my book, there's a story about how Joe signed my red label twice because he was so excited, which is very, very unique. But what I couldn't believe was I only had one Steve Clark autograph. I now have 6. I had one Pete Willis autograph. I now have 4. And what this wonderful gentleman did was he sent me his yellow label, Steve Clark, fully signed by every member of the band with provenance and pictures. And when I couldn't believe I've got the entire band on the yellow label, the next record that I pull out is the silver label. Once again, is fully signed by all of the members in the band. And he said, I want nothing. I want no cash. He said, you've been so kind to me. I just know, you will treasure these. And I'm just crying with like the blessings of these and so many other things coming through. And this is what happens. And people, we hear somebody struggling with this or that. I'll sort you out. I know what to find that. I'll get that. Next thing you know, we drop a little surprise parcel. The tears are coming, and that's it. It's just because it's making you happy. In obviously you a tough time, just something to brighten your day because it's Def Leppard, and we love anything, whether it be a little cross or a T-shirt or something like a Holy Grail, which is just like, whoa, that's they could have been sold for £1,000 each, no problem. I know people would pay that, and he's like, shows, look after when you need to pass it on, you do the right thing, and that's the genuine fandom, and it's a privilege for people to gift, but obviously I gift, we don't necessarily trade. There's certain things we do trade. So if you've got this and we'll swap, it's never money involved. It's always a gift. And nothing better than get a message, somebody getting something. I thought of you. And I've had things given to me and I'm like, it's not meant for me. And my great friend Judy Nunez was my co-editor. We speak about this often, how sometimes some things come, but you feel the energy that this needs to go to this person. And whilst it'd be wonderful to have, there's nothing better than then giving it to that person. And when we went to Chelmsford, a great friend had gone through a real tough time, and I was able to gift him something that just, he just melted. And then straight after that, I was able to gift 3 other things to 3 other people individually. And you're like, wow. And then somebody's knocking for me going, actually, Dave, I've got something for you. And you're like, what? And we just exchange gifts. So we have little jokes. It's like Father Christmas of Def Leppard, little trinkets, but sometimes some things, just like your pick, it just means the world, doesn't it? And you could get that into a necklace. That's Viv, and he's there on your necklace. That's what it means. And if I've got 2 of them, I don't need 2. I'll gift you the other one, and then we're all in the club. So even things like this, the Def Leppard Lead Mill beer can. There weren't that many. As I walk into the Lead Mill, there you go, mate. Have a can. You're like, wow. It don't mean anything to anybody else, but to us, it's the Lead Mill beer that I was drinking.
Do you know what I wish I had saved? I wish I had saved my husband. I like a dark beer, but when we were in Vegas last time in 2019, they had the can there, and my husband had one, but we didn't save the can.
Oh, well, when I went to Boston and I saw the Elysian, I said to Judy, I'm off. I've got to get one of these cans. I went to 4 different bars. They'd all sold out. But Judy then, a while later, she sorted me out with some cans. And when I was flying back from Boston, I had these cans all like this, and they were sitting on my lap, for the thousands of miles journey and the 8 hours, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't trust them. And people were like, what have you got over there? I said, look, you won't understand, but they're very special beer cans. Then a 4-hour bus journey from London back to Wales. And I was like, But each can, thanks to Judy said, send this to this person, send this can to this person, this can. And then all these people were then getting their cans, and they're like, thanks, Dave. No, you don't thank me. Thank Judy. I just was luckily, custodian or the bouncer bringing these empty beer cans back from America. We couldn't get them either.
Well,
That's
now,
so cool.
Amy, now I know what I'm looking for in Vegas.
I know,
Forget
right?
the jackpot.
Find them
I want a
again.
can.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Okay, well, David, no, Amy, I have to do my rapid fire questions.
That's right.
You have a few minutes?
Gosh. I was sitting here
I need
thinking,
my
oh my
rapid
gosh.
fire. Okay.
Yes, do. Go. I love it. I can't wait to hear.
Okay.
I don't know what these questions
So
are.
it doesn't have to be
excited
one
as
word.
you.
No, just what comes to mind. Okay. What is the loudest crowd you've experienced at a Def Leppard show?
The loudest for me, the lead mill was on a different level. When you hear it live, is something, but being in that room with 850 people, we all knew 40,000 people, how lucky are we to be here. I had been very lucky that I had been at the Exeter fan club show with just 700 people, and that was loud. But this was another level because these were the Def Leppard fans who were there to see Bramall Lane, but had got inside of the lead mill. And where I was, it was like everybody was a super fan. There were 20 of us, we were screaming, we were sweating like mad. We're like, it's falling, it's too late for left, we've got wasted. And, maybe it was just where I was, but it was off the scale, the lead mill.
I would love to absorb that energy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what has been the most emotional Def Leppard moment on stage or off?
On stage or off, it's got to be now Joe going, I've got your book, thank you. And just like me freaking out that like he's got the book, there's a possibility I can have that forward. And then a couple months later, if you could see me on the train, screaming, and that was, that was the dream. And after 2,000 hours, 4 years later, cheers, Joe. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your blessing. Wow.
That's so great. I can't imagine. It's so great.
Okay. What is a Def Leppard deep cut that you think more like casual fans should hear?
Okay, so I love Desert Song. And I talk about this with Neil. We did the retroactive 3-part podcast. Desert Song is in my top 20. And I first got in touch with Neil Poole by Neil talking about certain songs. And when I was in university, the guy who lived next door to me, we became great mates. So there's me with my long hair back in the day, brown. He was next to me with long blonde hair, and he was into death metal. And everything was this real like horror and stuff like this. And he was an incredible guitarist, and he has metronome, but he was all full on. And he knew of Def Leppard, and I'm next door, and we become mates, we have a few whiskies and chat, and he's listening, but it's not his cup of tea. But then one day, I'm blasting Desert Song, and he comes in, and he's like, what's this? It's like, this is Def Leppard. So he sits down, he listens, incredibly talented. He goes, I'm going into my room for an hour. An hour later, he comes out. He's learning Desert Song. I'm like, wow, this is brilliant. But this is a death metal guitarist playing. And fast forward a week later, they had a gig night. I went along. Everybody stayed with me because I'm in a Def Leppard t-shirt and they're all in, these crazy death metal bands. And just for me, my mate Dave's up on stage. He starts playing Desert Song. All the death metal fans like, hey, this is brilliant. And I'm there going, that's Def Leppard. And, it is that song that really transcends. If I got to go to Vegas, it wouldn't be a deep cut. The dream would be to see Stand Up, Kick Love Into Motion. For me, as, a classic that maybe not everybody visits, but for me, that is... Phil's guitar on there. It is just sublime.
Beautiful. Yep. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to find out what we're gonna hear. I was 2019 was my first residency ever for any band, any show, and as I felt like I had never seen so many songs I had never seen, and we actually got to go 2 nights, so we got both sets, which was nice, and they were recording both nights. It was the last 2 nights of the residency. And so I was surprised on the second night. I was like, they didn't play this last night. But Mirror Mirror had completely fallen off my radar. And then when they played it, I was like, oh, I forgot how much I love this song.
It's funny you say that, because at the Lead Mill, I remember the reaction when Mirror Mirror started. People were losing their minds.
Yeah.
They did not expect that. And it was a reminder, just what a rocker, what a powerful song it is. Yep. And, heaven.
Beautiful.
So, okay, David, is there a Def Leppard lyric that sums up your journey with Def Leppard?
Are you getting it? I'm getting it. Can we get it with me?
That's actually very fitting. Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's get rocked. Let's.
I love it.
I'm getting it. Can we give it to me? Yes.
Okay, so here's my last question. I'm going to head to Cardiff in a few months. What, as a music lover, music fan, where should I go in Cardiff?
Okay, so I've had 9 people come and visit the Sparkle Lounge. Everybody who visits the Sparkle Lounge leaves with a very special Def Leppard gift, and I take you on tours, and we go Def Leppard hunting. And you'll see the stories of people coming to visit, and the Def Leppard treasures they get. I make one rule. I say, I'm going to take you to my favourite record shop in this town and this city, and then we're going to go there and there and there, and it's like a 2-day thing. But I say, absolutely, if there is anything that is Def Leppard, it's yours before it be mine. So whether I have it or I don't, and you'll see people coming away with those treasures. So I would take you to all of these little famous places, and then I give you a little bit of a musical tour. So South Wales has got some massive, massive stars. People think of Tom Jones. Tom Jones is 7 miles where he grew up from where I live. But for us, very near-ish to where I am. A huge band in the UK, but never broke in America. An indie rock band called the Manic Street Preachers.
I love the Manic Street Preachers, yeah.
Okay, so John Bon Jovi is in London, and he is doing his Destination Anyway. He is one of the most famous songs called A Design for Life, about Richie Edwards, who had mental health problems. He was a guitarist who disappeared. His body was never found. He was legally declared dead after 7 years. It's a very deep, emotive song. And John Bon Jovi, remember the interview, this is the greatest song I've heard in the last X number of years. And in 2019, I flew to Dublin to see Bon Jovi, and he had the Manic Street Preachers supporting them. And the Manics had been with him a lot. But further up the valley where I used to teach, our huge band who played little sort of 1,500 seaters in America are called the Stereophonics, and they have had 8 UK #1 albums, which is just one behind Coldplay, but one above Oasis. And in Wales, they do, on the last tour, they did 2 nights in our national stadium. There's 120,000 people. Wow. So I take you and I'd show you the home of the Manics. And I've got a very personal connection to the Manics, and I'd share that with you. Then I've got personal connections with Stereophonics, and I take you so you get to see the Manic Street Preachers. We do the Def Leppard tour, you do the Stereophonics, we ended up with a bit of Tom Jones, and then you can go back.
Brilliant. Okay.
Nice. Oh my gosh. Oh, that sounds like a blast. Oh my gosh.
Amy, get that passport. Yeah. Come on.
You've got to come over next year, and you've got to join the gang of us. And I think next year it could be 50 of us, easy for the.
I'm in. Yeah. I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, easier for me to get to them than to you, Amy. But
You know, if they were playing in Italy, I've got an invite. You know, I could come to Milan. See Def Leppard in Italy. That'd be cool. Andiamo Bambino and hey,
Oh my gosh, I love
that
it
will
so
be
much.
great.
Oh.
Dave, this has been like again. I think my cheeks hurt from smiling. I have probably my makeup's running from crying.
Oh
It is. You are like this is like family. I love. Yeah, I
Yep.
love it, and it makes me even more like I'm super excited to get to Vegas and see them in the residency, and now it's even more, right? It's even
Yep.
I'm so excited.
It is.
We'll
send you all the
Wow.
things. We'll send you all the pictures,
Yes.
all the things.
It's gonna
The
be
beer. I'm going to find beer cans.
I know, right? Hopefully they have
Magic
some.
may yet happen, and you never know. I may get out there for one show, but it's a long shot. But
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
put it out there in the universe, and sometimes God goes, "Yep."
Never know.
And you're away.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
If you don't see you in Vegas, we'll see you in the UK next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where I've been known to fly to the UK at least once a month, probably for a concert.
Oh, is he there? You tell them.
But who is Mumford and I'm like, who am I going to see in like next week? Mumford and Sons. Yeah, in Manchester again.
That's so fun.
And then
you guys. That's amazing. I love it. You guys are gonna have to connect and go do something fun.
We will.
Oh my gosh. David, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your book. All the inside things. I really, really hope that sales just go through the roof. I can't wait to see where you go on a book tour and all the things. Hopefully you guys will win and we'll get to see you in Vegas. And then hopefully Katya can connect with June and get to some of those shows, because I know we were looking and actually talking about, okay, can I make it? But yeah. So.
It's all good things. It's all gonna be amazing.
Our 70th birthdays are a long, long way away, but we need to celebrate them this year or next year with Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Our paths will cross, absolutely, at some point.
How could it be 50 years when we're like 20, right?
I know.
Still.
I was like, oh.
Right.
But still.
I'm 12, you're 15, Amy. How old were you, Katya, when you fell in love with Def Leppard?
There was about 15, 16, yeah.
I was actually
And here we
10.
are now, in our 50s, and our band are still going.
I know, and they're still amazing.
My first Def Leppard memory is sitting on my mom's bed listening to her clock radio with Casey Kasem doing his top requested countdown. And for months upon months, I feel like it was all of 1983, it felt like. It would go back and forth. The number one most requested song in the United States would go back and forth. And it was songs between Pyromania and Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller. And they would just switch on and off. At least that's my memory. I think if I were to look it up, I'd probably find a few different things in there. But I remember Sunday after Sunday after Sunday sitting on my mom's bed listening to those two battle it out. That's my first Def Leppard memory.
Yes, wonderful.
At my house in Georgia. Yep.
Well, this is David. This will be one of many. I hope to still connect and see you.
Just come back for part 2. Get the book, read the book, and once you've read the book, then you'll have a pile of different questions. When the big reveal can be revealed. In Welsh, as in the book, Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much, both. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Grazie mille.
Grazie.
What? I feel like it's like, good night. Thank you, good night. There we go. So now we've got all 3. I love it.
Until next time.
And there will be a next time. Oh my gosh. Perfection.
Amy loved this conversation with David. And you know, can I throw something in? After we did this interview with David, about a few days later, he was talking about his great experience in Sheffield, England. So I went.
I know. You sent me the greatest picture from Sheffield. I was like, wait, it was awesome.
So that's in honor of David. And I totally look forward to meeting up with him and seeing him at a show sometime, or just any other time we could see him.
That's
awesome. Just so much fun.
Yep. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe, follow along. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming your way. Make sure you grab your Rock the Life shirt at rtlmerch.com. And
don't forget, get your Church of Leppard
book too. Yes. I'll have the link in the description so you can get it there. I think that's it. Is that it? All right. Yeah. Don't forget. Rock the life. Bye.